Hi. So I have installed 2 of these iSpring reverse osmosis water systems, one at my shop at work and then one at home. And there's plenty of instructions online, and the instructions that come with it are pretty simple to follow. But there are a few tips I've learned installing these that'll make your life much easier. Okay, first off is tools. You're going to need really a knife to cut the tubing. Everything else is pretty basic tools, so you don't get anything special. It comes with the little wrench for the filter housings and stuff like that. It comes with that, and pretty self-explanatory what that's for. So a knife like here. The first thing though is location. I'm a home brewer, and so I wanted this out in the garage because I want to be able to service it. You know, if you want to hide it under your sink at your house, that's totally fine. But just think that you're going to have to get in here and take off these filter housings and change these filters occasionally. If you like getting on your hands and knees and supermaning your way under your sink, get the garbage out of the way, all of that stuff, and open this up, and it's going to dump water out. So keep that in mind. Under your sink, you want to do all that under your sink? Have at it. Oh, put a light under there too so you can see. I don't like that. So I prefer to have it on in the garage. I'm not saying that's the best for everybody, of course. Like I said, I'm a home brewer. What we do is, for the house, I just fill up these jugs and take them inside, and this is our drinking water. So, you know, it's a little bit more work to do that. You don't have the little fancy faucet in the kitchen. You know, those are nice to have, but that's just my thoughts. The other thing is, I built a little frame to put this on so it mounts to it and is supporting. It just plywood screwed together is all it is. Just again to kind of think ahead, so you're not screwing this right to your drywall and then it gets wet and then those screws don't want to hang on. Yeah, things like that. So just a couple of minor things. So now you don't have to do this step, but I wanted proof that this system was working, what it was doing. So I bought one of these total dissolved solid meters, TDS meters, and it measures the dissolved solids, the things that are in your water. So to do just a real quick test here, I'll pour some in a cup. That's the RO water. And then you can see this is at 2 parts per million, which is pretty dang good. And then we're going to do some tap water right out of my tap. This is in Hillsboro, Oregon, which we normally have pretty soft water, but let me get my machine to work here. There we go. Okay, and right here, make sure I get it upright for you. What's that say? 57. Okay, so 57 is not bad at all, really. But for home brewing and other things, I wanted to have reverse osmosis water. You can buy these, they're not very expensive, and do your own testing. So it's kind of a cool before after. You have proof of it right there. So cutting, you know, we talked about cutting these with your tool. Super easy. Just take the tube and put it up against something hard like this, and you can just cut it. I mean, right? If you have trouble doing this, then maybe this isn't the project for you, but that's how simple that little process is. Okay, so let me show you close up here exactly what's going on and little tips here to help you out. So here's how it actually works. Your first is your supply. So this is a little saddle, and it's just a little needle that you clamp onto your water supply pipe. You turn this, the needle jams into the copper pipe, makes a hole, and then now this is your supply. You may have other things if you have PEX piping or other, you know, there's different adapters and stuff that you can get. I'm not gonna go over all of them because, you know, you can figure that out. That's not that difficult. And then, so here's your pressurized supply. And then comes to here, and it goes through these 3 filters, right? You get finer and finer as they go. Charcoal filters, these. Comes out here to the red, goes back over here, then comes here into the RO membrane, right? So it's just another filter, think of it like that. Comes out here yellow, back over here, and then goes through this final filter, which is for scent, the odor of the water. Okay, and then comes out here. I have a valve on mine, and comes out like this. Now from here in your house, or like in my shop, I got a T, so I can pour water like I have here, or go to a faucet, okay? The other thing is this line right here. This goes up over here and to these tanks. Now, I have 2 in, and I'll tell you why, but the purpose of the tanks are to give you a reserve of water. In other words, the water that will come out of this system, it takes a long time to go through this RO process. And so it's just trickling. It's not coming out super fast out of here like this. I'll blast the floor here a little bit. That's just like quarter power. It's trickling. Well, you don't want to trickle, okay? So what it does is, after it's all filtered, and before it goes through the final filter, after it's all filtered through the slow process, it then, the pressure of it pushes it up through here and into these tanks that have a little bladder, and it reserves some of that water in there. So when you open the valve, boom, now you got pressurized water ready to go. Okay, so that's what those are for. I added another because I wanted more capacity because of my home brewing. I wanted, several gallons at once. Okay, and so you can do that. Just buy another tank and then just tee them. There's a T here, and you can stack as many of these as you wanted along here, okay? Super easy. And then I put them up here out of the way so they're not in your way, because once you get them up here, you won't have to do anything with them. The next thing is you put some air pressure in here, and that balances the pressure without getting too technical. There's a bladder in here. So I have 42 pounds of pressure on mine, but that's because I know the pressure of my city water here. You'll want to experiment and look at the directions, but basically what I do is get a gauge and screw it to my hose bib to see what my city water pressure is. And then you want to make your air pressure less than that, so that the city water pressure can overcome the air pressure in here. It's getting technical, but just make sure this pressure is less than your city water pressure. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay, so that's what that's for. The other thing is, how do you connect these lines? This type of line is kind of interesting. Let me set the camera up and I'll show you close up how to deal with this. Okay, can you see that? So these are just pressed in here. And what that means is, I'll show you close up here. I'll take this little collar off. Get close up here. And here. And so to remove it, for example, you're going to push this little white collar back and then pull this out. Okay? So it's just pressed in there. To engage it, just jam it in there. And right when you pull it out, see, it won't come out. See that? But for an extra measure of protection, they come with these little clips that you clip on, and they hold that there. That's important because, this is going in your house. And so if one of these happens to come loose, it's going to just sit there and dribble in your kitchen forever until you discover it. You're on vacation or whatever. So, put those clips in to ensure, and then double check for leaks when you set it all up. Okay? The next thing that's super important here is the flushing of these filters. So when you've gone through all the work and you've located this thing, you know where you want it mounted, you hook the water pressure up. So the water comes in here and goes through these filters. These charcoal filters need to be flushed first. This is super important. And what that means is don't just hook everything up and turn it on, because out of these charcoal filters is going to be black water with all kinds of sediment. That is immediately going to go in and plug up your RO membrane, and you'll be down buying a new one, okay? So what you do is you disconnect the line right here, or follow it, come out here, just anywhere before this membrane. Disconnect it and have a little tub for it to go into. Then turn on your water pressure. Out of it, you'll see black water comes out. Let it flush for a few minutes. Look at the directions. I can't remember exactly how long, but let it run until it's clear, and then hook it up to here, okay? Otherwise, you will render this useless right off the bat, okay? Super #1 tip. I probably should have mentioned that first right off the bat, just to save you that hassle. But the RO process also creates wastewater. It doesn't filter out all the sediment out of all the water. It creates wastewater. You will need to have a drain for that, okay? So it comes with one. There's a discharge, and again, follow the instructions. It's pretty simple. Now for me, because I don't have a drain anywhere near here, I had to run mine like here, under here, to go under the tank, through this wall, into my laundry room, where it goes up and overhead, and then over here, and then to there. So that was just the closest drain that I had. But that shows you can go quite a ways. I mean, right? That goes in there, up overhead, just get it to wherever you can go. It's going to drain. And then again, once you get it charged up, check for leaks, so you're not you're not messing up. Now, there is another valve that some of these come with, some don't. Mine didn't, and I didn't care outside, but they're an anti-leak valve. Basically, they're a inline valve that if it detects water, it will swell up and shut things off. So you put it on the floor of your kitchen, or right at the bottom of this thing, and if water, let's say it's right here on your floor, if this gets wet, it's going to get on that valve, swell up inside, and shut the water off, so that it doesn't just sit there and silently run and flood out your floors. If I'm installing this in my house, inside, I'm definitely doing that. So if your system comes with one, then you'll be able to see per the instructions. If not, again, there's links, Amazon links, you can buy them, they're cheap, inline leak things. So anyway, that's it. Let me know if I forgot anything or any other tips on installing these things. That's it. Thanks for watching.